Pro-democracy activists say they fear the end of Hong Kong after China announced plans for new security laws. The Hong Kong government insists the legislation will not affect the freedoms of its people as activists launch a second wave of protests.
The dreary pomp and circumstance of the National People's Congress, China's parliament, is usually predictable enough. COVID-19 and the economy were going to be the main talking points. Instead, it was Hong Kong. For nearly a year now, people have worried about Chinese troops on the streets there. But this is what a crackdown really looks like.
These actions and activities seriously challenge the bottom line of the principle of one country, two systems. They seriously damage the legal system, seriously endanger national sovereignty, security and developmental interests. Powerful measures must be taken towards preventing, stopping and punishing them in accordance with the law.
Hong Kong's parliament, the Legislative Council, does things differently from China's. Scuffles broke out today after the news. The proposed security law is widely drawn to cover acts of secession or subversion or any attempt to endanger national security. On the Chinese mainland, these same vague laws are routinely used to jail critics of the Chinese Communist Party. The basic law of Hong Kong, its mini-constitution, protects its citizens' freedom of speech, of press, of association, of assembly and of protest. The fear is that those rights will be trumped by the security law.
Beijing announced to bypass the Legislative Council in Hong Kong and impose the controversial bill that would eroding the freedom of Hong Kong, which named as the National Security Law, which just result in Hong Kong turn from one country, two system to be one country, one system.
Perhaps most worrying, China's security forces would be allowed to set up agencies in Hong Kong itself. If Chinese secret police were to operate in the city as they do in China, it would effectively mean the end of the rule of law in Hong Kong. The Hong Kong government says the new laws will not affect the rights and freedoms enjoyed by Hong Kong, nor its judicial independence.
We should take a positive view in relation to this legislative work of the NPCSC. This is not going to affect Hong Kong citizens' rights and freedoms that have been safeguarded by our laws.
Last summer's protests were fierce over a much less significant piece of legislation, the abandoned extradition bill. Things were already set to heat up again. But this new security law isn't just Beijing adding a little more fuel to the fire. It's pouring out a petrol station's worth. Tom Cheshire, Sky News, Beijing.